So if you wanted to get to this, it's going to be in this section. And I don't know if this is like, I don't know how the default works, but I'm sure you guys have seen this show up on your right-hand side. If you click on these four buttons here, you'll see financials, technicals, forecast. Click on forecasts. So based on 30 analysts giving stock ratings for ARM Holdings, blah, 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 in the past 3 months, 140 was the max target for some analyst. 17 of them said strong buy, 10 of them said hold. There's barely anybody saying strong sell or anything like that. So, but I don't know if we've gotten any new ratings since earnings. We probably did. I just haven't seen.
That's cool.
I was gonna look in that news section.
So you can screenshot everything that Doppel's thinking about. Go long.
Oh, well, this is just a list that I put together in case we wanted to talk to him either on stream now or after.
Full disclosure, you're not looking at AMD or LOY.
I am not looking at AMD, but I will talk about some stupid ideas that I have.
Let's go.
So I think Micron probably topped. I know I was a big bull on this. I think
Really?
I think I'm gonna just expect because I'm in from down here, so I've been starting to take profits. I don't know if this is the top, but this feels like a good place for me to start selling.
Yeah, it's fair. Semis are in general just they mooned. Like they just kept going and going. So I don't know, maybe.
I think there's some divs on the daily or such that show up too. We've been talking about net. Cloudflare did great today, great earnings performance. And I was explaining, so I've kind of been messing around with this new system. Been messing around with my toolkit. I got this idea. I'm trying to see if it still works. But my when we were in the summer, I was all about just looking for bottom. Oh, did we change screens? No, I'm still sharing. Right? Yeah,
you're good.
I was trying to look for bottom ranges. But the thing is I would just be like, oh, this is a bottom, and I would just be too impatient to wait for some trend change. So I was originally just doing your typical EG settings. Very, very standard, anything, 926.52, 26. And what I'm doing now is, and I plan on maybe if this strategy, I like this strategy, I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to pull it out of the toolkit and make it just a separate indicator for you guys to share. This ribbon that's blue and orange or yellow, burnt orange, is essentially just the same moving averages as that the Tenkan and Kijun use. So that's what you typically see in Ichimoku. But because it's smoothed out, you'll sometimes see a clearer signal. But then I remove those. And on TK crosses, so when there's a bullish cross, I print a open circle, and on a bearish cross, I print a closed circle, so that I can still tell when those crosses are actually happening. Frog, I talked about Frog in the Discord, and I can show you what I meant. So, put on log, take PPR off. What I also then do with the ribbon is I place it forward, just like you would with Ichimoku. So this will almost end up being the standard settings for the cloud, like resistance that you would run into. And then I move the actual cloud settings to either your doubled settings for equities or for crypto. So this will give us the big old fat cloud for price targets. And we are still able to see the old cloud for or an idea of where the old cloud would be for your typical 9 settings, for where resistance would begin to start. Now, I've been studying a lot of like stage analysis too. So essentially, you probably, if you Googled it, you're going to find this chart where it's downward price action, finds and forms a base. It's going to look Wyckovian. It's going to look just like a base, but it's not going to get deep into the technicals. And how I'm determining that we've really based out is that ribbon that's acting as the Tenkan Kijun is really going to begin to start and twist back and forth. I'm feeling pretty confident that we're in a range. Now, you'll see the ribbon is actually telling us that the trend is bullish, but if I pulled up the Tenkan Kijun, we're getting a bearish cross. So we're getting like a false signal that because they're painted on top of each other. We haven't quite opened yet. We're not going to open for like another month. So it's a little bit easier for me to say, yeah, the trend is bullish, even though the Tenkin Kijun are on each other. So the red circle would sell us Tenkin Kijun have crossed bearish, but my ribbon is telling me momentum is still bullish, obviously, and we've entered through the resistance of what the standard cloud would be, and now gone into that doubled cloud settings, and we're looking for that target on the other side. We've now, if you're looking at it from just a range, this is going to look kind of obvious. Looks kind of Wycovian, right? So you've got your range, you've broken out of it. This might be a sign of strength. Pulled back down for the backup. It found support about mid-range, which a lot of people get shaken out, even Wyckoff traders. Your backup can go pretty far in. You're just wanting to look for a higher low to form. That's all you're really looking for. It going back into the range doesn't always on a trend change. It's not always going to mean it's going to the other side of the range. It's common, but we've worked through enough times of back and forth in the range, and we've broken out of it once. It's time to be alert and look for an opportunity to buy again, even if it means that later this is going to form a spring. We're looking for any kind of price action to shift again. So in stage analysis, you're kind of just looking for the highs, break of the range, come back down to confirm that trend has changed. And if we're looking at like the ribbon, we're in the cloud. We're still relatively in the cloud. You may have gotten shaken out here, but you have an opportunity when we reclaim these range highs. You can enter again. And honestly, we're looking like every other chart that has this type of pattern. We're probably going to go to 66 and beyond. Like this looks like a great chart to me. But I'm hoping to kind of share this and get some guys' thoughts and hear some ideas.
What is JFrog?
So JFrog is a software. I've ran into it once at work. There's another cool thing you can do. If you go to financials, you go to show more, it will actually tell you everything about the company, where it's located, what year, its market cap, its free float, even its debts and market cap
cool.
and cash equivalents. Not enough people are using this.
No.
You can get your dividends, your earnings reports, your EPS. Like this, it's actually super. I'm using this more and more now than I ever was before, especially now that we're in earnings season. But it's I've seen it used. I've actually seen this used once before. I didn't have enough time on the project to get to tell you exactly what it is, but what we were using it for was kind of as like a caching internally for our software that would be available to different endpoints, workstations, containers, and such, instead of those things always reaching out to the internet for them. That's how we used it. So cool. It says like a securely delivered software updates across the system. That's kind of how we were using it. That's cool. My familiarity with it.
I was absolutely slammed the past 2 days at work, and when you guys were talking JFrog, I thought it was a Jerome Powell Pepe meme.
JFrog USDT.
There you go. I was like, it's at the rate we're at with hat and everything else, it made sense. No, but that's real cool. Thanks for showing that, and I'm definitely post it up in the Discord and start thinking. I mean, that's kind of how I was with those impulses that took me a year to kind of get confident in them. Just sitting there playing and thinking and seeing what others think. So I ran a bunch of those charts by Pixa and Mally and yourself.
Everybody was looking at snaps, gaps. I am really happy that people stopped taking Snap's earnings seriously now. I remember a year, maybe 2 years ago, when we would get these ugly earnings gaps. And the next week, you would have the big hitters in tech. You'd have like Microsoft or Meta or whatever. And we would get to Snap the week before, and might be like, this is proof that the next week is going to be so bloody. It's over, guys. Bear market forever. We're going to zero. I'm glad that we don't care about this company anymore, because we apparently cared a lot about it back in 2022.
I don't know how they even have profits, but I saw the memes today. Is they said the price today is because this was the #1 streaming platform for the leaked Drake video that I'm not in.
Top, is that a frog candidate there? That's some similar look to it. probably take time to
Oh, for
fill in the
Snap?
chart or whatever.
For Snap,
gotta-
it's if you actually looked at it on the weekly, like in the cloud, it's in the cloud. Like, but we've tried to do this back in the summer. It's just a freaking ugly chart every earnings. So if you're gonna try to do this, you need to get out every earnings and just buy the dip.
I was gonna, if you go back to Frog, I was just gonna point out the fact that those pullbacks, it doesn't always have to go to like 50%. It can go to like 1618 or whatever.